Welcome back to the Make Money Make Sense show. This is your host, Henry, joined by
Celia?
one fun fact about me is I've been picking up swimming at Kenyatta College Gym. If you're at Skyline, you should consider going to Kenyatta College's gym, even though it's far. It's a nice gym.
And I've been working in the financial aid office for about 6 years.
In today's video, we're going to go over some of the most common requirements that may come up in your financial aid student portal and how to complete those with confidence and accuracy.
Yeah, so let's get started and going to the WebSmart and how to log in. All right, so you will be logging into your one login, and then once you log in, you'll click on WebSmart. From there, it may open up to this page, and then we're going to be slowly phasing out this page, so hopefully you could start seeing this page. And this is going to be our newest landing homepage. From here, you're going to look for the financial aid student portal link. And as a reminder, you should always double check what you're looking at for your file. So if you're working on this upcoming fall and spring and summer of the new academic year from 25-26, this is the correct year. Down here will be all the list of requirements that you have on your file, and it's important for you to fill out each requirement that is listed. Some of our requirements you can click on the blue link and it will open up. And we have some of our forms linked to a form stack form. So by submitting the form and getting to the end of the page, it's an automatic submittal to our office.
FormStack is just a software where we host some of these forms to try to make it easier for you all to get us the information you need to get us so that we can continue advocating and getting the funds that you're eligible for. That's what FormStack is. And there are other forms.
Like our citizenship requirement would mean that you would need to turn in proof that you are a U.S. citizen, and how to submit this form or documents you could use. Okay, so you could use our second method of submitting form, which is access and submit financial aid forms, and that will open up to this one here, and you could scroll down and submit documents by our Dropbox.
If you haven't gotten the hint, in this episode, we are actually using visual support. So if you're just listening to this on maybe a commute or something like that, just recognize if you sign into Spotify, you can open up the video so that you can see what we're clicking and where we're clicking the links.
Okay, so back to our financial aid homepage. I did want to let you know, I forgot to mention that you could find it here on the left-hand side. And then besides forms being listed on WebSmart, we do have some additional forms on our website that are not hyperlinked into your WebSmart.
The name that we read in this image, Ari Akna Soler, is the Director of Financial Aid at Skyline. So that is the correct name, and the receipt after you submit, don't worry, that is our director. So that is the right place to submit.
So you'll go ahead and click down the caret tool, and then all of our forms will be listed here.
Yeah, can we go over some more of these requirements?
Yeah.
These common requirements.
Social Security would, like we mentioned, want to do that through the Dropbox. Some students are selected for verification, and it would either be an independent or dependent verification, which would include needing to submit the form via form stack, and then you would attach how many in the household, and then parents' taxes and students' taxes if they filed taxes for 2023. I just wanted to mention that also an option, if you submit this verification worksheet and did not attach the taxes at the time of uploading this form, you could always use the Dropbox to submit any additional documentation that you may need or forgot to put.
Because our viewers are awesome and getting this information ahead of time, one of the things that we recommend when students are completing either their California Community College application or their financial aid application is going slow, because when you go slow, you actually go fast. And what I mean by that is, if you've already experienced this requirement, you will recognize how big of a pain in the butt it is. If you accidentally selected that you If you have inconsistencies in terms of what you shared in your high school completion or maybe your college completion between those two applications, and those two applications is the CCC Skyline app to your financial aid stuff, you will actually have to resolve those discrepancies. So if you are reading any of those types of requirements, please come in and work with us. You do need them. You do need to get those satisfied in order for us to be able to pay. I think Sel actually has some more stuff to share on those discrepancies.
So similarly to what you were saying, if you did put something different on the college application and on your FAFSA, you will get some of these requirements posted, and you could contact our office, and then we would help you determine where the discrepancy lies, either on FAFSA side or admissions and record side, and we would then let you know where the changes need to be made.
One way to avoid those discrepancies altogether is ensuring the names that you enter in both your Skyline College application and your financial aid applications are your government issued name.
They need to match your social security number.
Match your social security number and your card, and also avoid messing up your date of birth and social security number in and of itself, or your ITIN number, tax identification payer number, or your work authorization social security number. All of those identifiers really matter in terms of protecting your identity and for us to get you the funds you need. So you want to highlight, Sal? We'll timestamp this video so you can go to the ones that you see in your account. And if you're listening to this before you apply for your financial aid, you can avoid these problems potentially altogether.
Yeah, I just wanted to say typically when you scroll down, there should be a drop box. It should say Skyline or Kenyatta or CSM, just making sure that you select the right campus because it could delay your paperwork being processed. And then some important ones are the independent or dependent statement, sorry, independent, dependent worksheets. Those ones will stop you from getting your aid, and most of these requirements can or will stop you from getting your financial aid. So that's important that you complete your file as fast or as soon as possible because it does take time for us to process and review the documents you submit.
So we do recommend clicking the down caret so it becomes an up caret to actually read the little description of these. They are helpful. Don't overthink them. If you've earned a bachelor's degree prior to the beginning of this academic year, more power to you. Awesome to see that you are continuing your education. We hope you get value out of that. With that said, it does mean that you will not be Pell Grant eligible. However, if you needed and wanted to take out federal direct subsidized or unsubsidized loans, you would be still able to
To
pursue
do
that.
by completing an appeal, and you would need to submit in your documentation of the classes you've already taken, just so that we're making sure that you're not duplicating any courses, so that we could pay you out for your loan.
Right. So to complete this financial aid appeal, and afterwards began a supplemental direct loan request, assuming the appeal is approved. Wrapping up this episode when it comes to this.
No, I hope we answered most of your questions on how to submit documents for our office. If anything, feel free to stop by and we could go over them in person.
Great. Just to recap, because if we still have your attention, God bless you. So the WebSmart is here. The page that I'm on is OneLogin, right? So if you search SMCCD OneLogin, you should be able to get here after signing in. And then you want to go to WebSmart. Need to make this mouse bigger. This page is getting phased out for the time being. This is how you would get here. So the third tab over is financial aid. And then the first bullet point under financial aid reads financial aid student portal. You want to click on that. And then that's how you enter your FA student portal. And then these are important. Okay. I can't tell you, there's probably hundreds of students that have unsatisfied requirements that will not receive the aid that we can potentially be giving them, not because we don't want to give it to them, but because we need this. So we need your collaboration here. This reminds me, can we just speak? I covered the authorization charges. There's oftentimes two authorization charges. And those, I know it's a lot of text, but all those, in my knowledge, are saying is if you're eligible for various financial aid and you say yes to those questions, It will use your financial aid to pay any outstanding fees that you may have. If you select no, it's no big deal. Just know that you're going to have an outstanding balance, in which case you're going to have to pay out of pocket anyways.
Yes. Would then get your financial aid sent to you, and then you would turn around and give the financial aid money back to the campus. So it just makes a little more sense to say yes, so that once we disperse the aid, you don't have to get the give it back. It would just be sent to you, and then it would be all in one go. Missing charges or me?
We're going to share the authorization, what it looks like in your student portal right now, as well as what happens if you don't include Skyline College to your financial aid application. Okay, so take the lead on this one.
Okay, so we are starting with authorization. So you'll see two. So there's you're authorizing to pay any non-institutional charges with your financial aid. And then the other one is non-institutional for prior year charges. For any reason, if you have a balance from a different year, you're saying that you would like your financial aid to cover these two charges. Later on, if you are eligible for a Cal Grant, you'll receive similar authorization questions. If you feel like you've answered them once, it's probably because now you're seeing a second question that is referring to your Cal Grant. So that's kind of how we encourage you to potentially say yes, so that once you receive your Pell Grant, you're paying any outstanding balances for the college.
While any authorization, these two or the third one from Cal Grant, will not hold packaging, aka will not hold your funds. If you don't do, if you meet these requirements, you will get emailed continuously that there's outstanding requirements in your account. So we hope, one, that you're checking your student email because those are important, but just recognize that, let's say you haven't satisfied this for the last year, no worries. That just explains the emails that you've been getting. The questions read as follows. We're not going to read it through this episode. We encourage you to select yes for them because otherwise you're going to have to make a separate transaction to pay maybe a textbook fee or maybe some student body fees. So we encourage you to select yes to all of these and just hit submit. Finally,
Is our missing high school code? I'm sorry, college code. So if you, for any reason, put on the application our sister school and forgot to put Skyline, because at the time you weren't thinking of taking classes on Skyline, we will put a code letting you know that you may be eligible for financial aid. However, we cannot pay you because technically you haven't listed our school on the FAFSA application. So the code will let you know that you need to go back into your FAFSA and list our college as a potential place that you're planning to attend. Please don't get it confused with not listing our college in general. If we have not received your FAFSA, that's because you probably didn't list any of our sister schools or nor our college. So that could be why we haven't received your financial aid application.
and let's conclude this video on citizenship verification. We just want for our listeners who are rock stars to recognize these examples here that would satisfy such a requirement: passport, certificate of naturalization, or birth certificate. Some common ones that have come in for this requirement are ones that
So definitely if you have a US passport, and these cannot be expired, so we would need a valid US passport, naturalization certificate if you have that, or your US birth certificate. But if you are a student with a permanent resident card, you would want to go back into your FAFSA and change it so that you could put your numbers in.
yeah, that correction would be changing it from US citizen to eligible non-citizen, and you're going to want to put that permanent resident, aka green card number, the A number, into your FAFSA form. It's not going to start with an A on your green card, but those digits you can verify as UCSIC, I believe. And those are the digits that need to be in there. So if you're a green card holder, this requirement should hint that you will need to make a correction, which is a nerdy way of saying an update to your FAFSA form, and you're gonna get that green card number in there, and then sign and submit.
And in worst case scenario, if you're not sure if you have the correct documentation, you could always just put it in our Dropbox, and then we'll reach out to you to let you know what needs to be submitted.
Right, and now that our Dropbox has magically appeared on the bottom of our financial aid home student portal, here it is. Once you clear that, once you open that up, Ari Akna is who again? She is our director of financial aid at Skyline. So this is the legit and correct. I don't know if you want to accept cookies or not, but that's up to you. This is where you would do it. All right. Please label your files with your G number. That helps you get money sooner. Okay. Thanks again for tuning in. No more recaps needed. If you want to recap, re-listen to the video and re-listen and rewatch the video. Thanks so much. Bye. That's a video thing.